New pictures and recordings reveal details about the chaotic night Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old EMT with dreams of becoming a nurse, was killed by police during a raid on her home.
Officers encountered rifle fire. Officer down.
Officers working on a narcotics investigation had a warrant to search the apartment of Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. They were awakened by pounding at the door. Walker called 911 and grabbed his gun, thinking intruders were breaking in. Walker fired through the door, hitting one of the police officers in the leg.
EMS is around the corner, radio. We need EMS up here now.
Police officers responded with a barrage of gunfire, striking Taylor 8 times, killing her.
Radio, we need SWAT up here now.
This video, obtained by Court TV, captures an emotional Kenneth Walker just moments after his girlfriend was shot dead by police. Walker was arrested and charged with first-degree assault and attempted murder of a police officer.
Status of the officer. He's down. We got tourniquet on him. Where is he shot at? One leg, radio. One leg. We got tourniquets on him.
The 3 officers involved in the shooting, Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankinson, and Jonathan Mattingly, have been placed on administrative reassignment pending the outcome of the investigation. No illegal drugs or paraphernalia were found at the apartment. Neither Taylor nor her boyfriend have a criminal record. Breonna Taylor's mother is suing the 3 officers involved. Her lawsuit alleges the officers behaved recklessly and did not properly identify themselves before barging into her apartment.
They entered into her home unannounced and they murdered her. It's unacceptable. The family would like for these officers to be held accountable. They would like for them to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And they want changes. They want no-knock warrants to be banned.
Police disagree, claiming they acted properly. The police chief is asking federal officials to review the investigation, and Kentucky's governor is promising transparency.
The facts are what the family deserves. You know, the absolute truth. The truth is always the very best answer, whether it satisfies any particular person. And I just want to make sure that we get that.
Waiting for those answers is the family of Breonna Taylor, a young woman whose life was cut short in a hail of bullets.
I've never been a fan of the no-knock warrant. We live in a country where people have the right to defend themselves in their homes. We talk about stand your ground laws, in all these states. And when someone breaks into your house, you can shoot and kill them. So when it's a no-knock warrant, you don't know who's coming into your house. How does that make sense to anyone? You are putting the police officers' lives in danger, and of course the homeowners or the residents' home health and lives in danger. It's absurd. Who thinks this is a good idea? I don't get it. Yeah, it might work sometimes. When you go into a house and you make the arrest, but my goodness, not in this country with a Second Amendment. How does that work? Let me bring Chanley Painter in. Chanley, I'm sorry, screaming a little bit, but I've covered stories like this before. One where a little baby was burned and oh, it was awful. It was another no-knock warrant where they threw something inside the house. It made no sense to me. And here, this one doesn't make sense to me. So, I'm going to calm down for a second here. But so what exactly is going on here? No-knock warrant. Why are they going to this house? They didn't find anything. Why are they searching and getting a no-knock warrant for this particular house? And any explanation as to why it needed to be a no-knock warrant?
There are explanations, Benny, but you have every right to be upset and angry about this case because it was a tragedy on both sides. An officer was shot, and of course, Breonna Taylor lost her life. And as a result of her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, firing at who he thought was an intruder, hitting a police officer, the officers opened fire. There was even potential gunshots to the neighbors where a kid was living, according to the lawsuit that was filed that the attorney for the family just filed last month. But for this no-knock warrant, of course, the basis for the no-knock warrant is that for those people at a drug house or selling drugs or trafficking drugs, they don't want to give them time to destroy that evidence. So they want to go into the house as soon as possible when they arrive so that they can find the people. They don't have time to flee. They can get all the evidence, and it's more of a surprise. Here, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, Breonna Taylor's home, and the basis for this warrant, according to the police, was a surveillance of several months, Vinny. So we have Jamarcus Glover, the main suspect who they wanted, who was actually picked up on a different warrant earlier before this, as well as Adrian Walker, no relation to Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend at the home. They were allegedly running a drug house that Breonna Taylor's car was seen parked in several instances, and Jamarcus Glover's car was seen at Taylor's apartment several instances. And there was one that is cited, one instance where Jamarcus goes to her house and he leaves a few minutes later with a USPS box from her house. Police are thinking that she's helping them in some way by receiving mail for Jamarcus, maybe storing some of the money there, and they feel like they have the evidence to back that up. A judge signed this warrant, they go and execute it, and that is what happens. Of course, now, the Louisville Metro Police Department, Vinny, they're saying that even though it was a no-knock warrant, that they did knock. They did announce themselves. And of course, based on this lawsuit and the attorneys for the family of Breonna Taylor, they have at least 4 witnesses or neighbors who say, including Kenneth Walker, who's now been charged with attempted murder, they did not knock. They did not express their presence. In fact, they were in plain clothes, weren't even in a police car, Vinny.
All right, well, they should have body cams. If they're going to say that, they better have body cams. That's what body cams are for instances like that. No-knock warrants make no sense. Make no sense. Chanley, great reporting. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.